Meprolight Mpo Pro S. Meprolight came in and surprised everyone with their late entry into the micro red dot market. I know they've had some before, however, this one is going to be absolutely stunning. This red dot right here is going to feature a 3 MOA dot followed by a 33 MOA ring. It is going to be shake awake. It does have automatic light adjust, and it is going to be, very surprisingly, a shield RMSC type footprint. And it's also going to feature these nice tactile buttons on the side right here, which makes it super easy to manipulate even with gloves on. It is going to be a full enclosed optic. Now you may be asking, why do you want a enclosed optic for your shield RMSC? Because belly button lint like this can really affect your red dot and its projection. If you appendix carry like I do, you are bound to actually get bodily fluids, sweat, belly button lint that can actually coat up and fog up that lens a little bit, and it will obstruct your view, and it's also a pain in the ass for you to clean. So Meprolight came up with this nice little enclosed optic system that is very reminiscent to the way the Holosun 509T actually operates, although it is absolutely proprietary. Now, with their Shield RMSC type footprint, they do come with this nice little plate that does have holes and divots that you can actually use for your recoil padding. If you have certain firearms like the Glock 43X, you will have 4 holes and 4 nubs for that Shield RMSC type footprint. This becomes a problem when you actually deal with Holosun. Holosuns only have holes that can actually fit the front 2, and then you'll require a adapter plate in order to fit with that. Meprolight's adapter plate does allow you to conform to any Shield RMSC type footprint that is direct from the firearms manufacturer. With Glocks, it's a perfect fit, and with the 6-hour 365 series, it will be a perfect fit as well. So let's go ahead and mount this sucker and see how she performs. And bam! Take a look at that sucker right there. Absolutely gorgeous optic. Nice and enclosed. Still fits all the old holsters as usual, because it is just going to be an optics ready holster. Now, if you actually notice up front here, it is going to be the light detector sensor, so it knows when to do the auto brightness on and off if you choose to have that setting. Like the Holosun, you can still change the settings this way. You can change it to a 3 MOA dot, a 32 MOA circle, or both. So, very, very reminiscent to the Holosun type build. It is going to be kind of massive, honestly. I'm not going to lie about that. So if we are trying to go for a co-witness, we are definitely going to be pretty much non-existent when using lower 1/3 height sights. In terms of co-witness, for a micro compact, definitely probably not. However, it is still a really, really pretty system right there. It is huge. You do get a large viewing window. You do get a nice clear view of the optic also, which I am about to show you. Pretty happy with it so far. Let's take it to the range. So I just got the Mpo Pro S nice and zeroed up at 15 yards. We're here at the 10-yard line. We're going to do a couple of center mass shots and see how this thing actually performs. So far right now, picking it up is pretty darn easy. It's a little bit different because I have to change up my grip angle just a wee bit because it sits just a little bit higher than what I'm kind of used to. But we'll see how it actually goes. Pretty easy to pick up for the most part. That 33 MOA ring plus that 3 MOA dot really makes it super easy to pick up, and you can actually acquire this thing pretty quickly. You are able to actually see it pretty darn well. It seems to be holding up pretty darn well. It is relatively in that same general area, but we're gonna do a couple further testings. Now, taking a look at that reticle, it is gonna be very easy to pick up. As you can see though, with my lower 1/3 sights, it is pretty much non-existent in order to do like a co-witness. If you do a co-witness, it's probably going to be very shallow. However, very easy to build up that muscle memory for this guy. It is large, it is wide, and I like the way I'm able to actually pick this thing up pretty darn easily. Now, with optics being optics, you always have to wonder, will it actually hold zero? I'm gonna run this thing through a couple hundred rounds real quick, some on camera, some off camera, and then see how well it actually holds. We'll wait till the end on the final few shots to see if it actually still holds zero at that 15-yard mark, and then continue on from there. So far, it's going pretty well. After this last 100 rounds, I am going to bring out the zeroing target paper, and then we will see how well it actually held. All right, my initial 15 yards when I was zeroing first, I was making a couple adjustments here and there, and then I got it to the point where I was kind of happy with it. And then after the 300 or 400 rounds that I just did, it's still holding zero pretty darn good at 15 yards. And this is my average grouping at 15 yards right here, so it is going through pretty much perfect still on that zero. The Meprolight Mpo Pro S is holding up pretty darn well on my Sig Sauer P365. All in all, it is keeping up with the Sig Sauer P365, these micro compacts with a little bit more force behind there. It is taking up a beating, and it is running pretty darn strong. Only issue I have with this thing is how high it actually sits. It took me a little bit more getting used to, just because I was used to having a lower profile mount with the Holosun 507K series and also the 407K series and the EPS. It did sit a little bit higher than those optics. So basically, the only gripe I really have with it is that it sits a little bit higher than I would actually like. If I were able to actually utilize it with my lower 1/3 sights, I would be very, 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 very happy. But overall, so far, with what I'm testing out on this thing, it is going to be a good solid 4.5 out of 5. Meprolight, you are going to make huge waves with this enclosed optic system. It's a little odd to me that you waited all the way to the end of the year in order to release this thing. There was almost no advertising around with it, but I am super happy that you at least came out with it. Happy camper right here, happy customer. I'm going to continue on and see how well it actually goes after. If you made it this far, go ahead and head on down to Amphibian Customs. Use this code WORD for 10% off on your next purchase. Like, share, comment, subscribe down below. If you want to leave a super, that would be super cool. And as always, thanks for stopping by.